Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Pranzata Podcast. I am your host, Andrea Pranzatelli. We have a special guest today. This is Dru Montana. He is a stand-up comedian from Philadelphia. This is episode number 69.
Yes.
And he's very lucky to get this episode because a lot of my friends have been like, yo, let me get episode 69. And I didn't plan this. It was just coincident. It was total coincidence. And I think you're the perfect person for it because based on the reviews I've heard about your stand-up, like they're like, this guy talks about everything. So
yeah,
super excited to have him for episode 69.
No, that's awesome. Thankfully, you didn't promise that to someone because we did that like early on when we started the podcast. Someone was like, "Yo, let me get 69," and it's like, I don't know. By the time 69 came around, I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to do this anymore."
Yeah, but like it's. I don't know why everybody wants it so bad. They're like, "Let me get episode 69."
Yeah,
but this is like total coincidence that you got it. So
hell yeah!
I prepared some questions. I prepared some questions. I don't normally start the podcast like this, but I figured it's episode 69, so we might as well get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about sex.
Yes.
What about 69? How do you like 69ing?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll be on the top of it, the bottom of it. We can sideways 69. I like it all.
Can you come in 69?
Yeah. I can come pretty easily. Yeah. If it's the first one, I can come with like an over the pants hand job.
For me, 69ing is like a foreplay. I can't orgasm in 69 because it's too much focus. Like I have to focus on... It's too much of a multitask for me. Like I can't focus on pleasing you and then myself.
Yeah.
Like I have to be isolated. So for me, it's like a foreplay. For me.
I will say that that's when I do my worst pussy eating. Is when I'm in 69.
That's what I mean. Like I think I'm too neurotic. Like I'm like worried about what the guy's feeling, so I can't focus on my own pleasure if I'm in that position. All right.
It's hard.
Yeah. No. But good for you. You can come in that position. Next question about sex.
Okay.
What's your favorite sex position?
I'm a missionary guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm boring. I like to kiss ladies on the mouth. How gay of me, I'm sorry.
No, that's really cool. I used to be into missionary, but I've learned to fall in love with doggy. But
that's awesome. I know a lot of ladies that do love doggy style. Like that's their go-to.
Yeah.
And like I can perform anywhere, but like I'm also lazy sometimes and like I get out of breath. So like that's my easiest position is like the one arm push up, other one on your shoulder, and then I literally, to the audience, I asked him to give me a write-up about himself so I can come up with questions. I'm like, so tell me some things about yourself.
He's like, I don't know, I'm lazy. Like that was one of his like things about himself. He's like, yeah, I don't know, nothing really. I do comedy. I'm very lazy.
Yeah, no, it sucks, dude. I want to find like cool things to do.
Yeah. So all right, that perfectly transitions us to our next question. Do you have any goals for the new year?
Ooh, get better at doggy style. No, I don't know. Yeah, just like keep going with comedy. The podcast is like doing well lately, so I'm really excited about that. So I want to like keep growing and get on some festivals. That'd be cool.
What's your podcast? I've never seen you do stand-up. I've only seen you do roast battles.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever met you. So I don't even know what your stand-up style is. Like what's your, you like self-depreciative? Are you just like raunchy? What's your...
No, it's like Animal Planet on weed. Like a lot of like on edibles. Like,
so you talk a lot about like animals?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I have like a whole 15 that I was trying to put together to put out about animals.
Really?
And I just find things interesting.
No, that's funny you say that because just recently my boyfriend and I started watching National Geographic on like Disney Plus or whatever, and we watched a documentary about lions and the shit. I don't know if you know, like if you're into that stuff, I don't know if you know a lot about lions, but like the women do so much work in the Lion Kingdom. Like they're like constantly hunting and taking care of the kids, and the men don't do shit.
They just chill.
They just fucking chill.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Like they don't pay their child support, like nothing like that. They're just like literally it's just like the female lion. She has to like hide her cubs, go out and hunt, and then just pray that her cubs didn't get eaten by hyenas, and the males are nowhere to be found.
Dude, people should be appreciative that like child support is the most they have to worry about, because like male bears will get a lady pregnant and then try and kill the kids immediately when they're born. They're like, oh, this is going to be competition.
Yeah,
like competition. It's 6 days old.
It's funny.
It's sucking a tit to eat.
I literally just had this thought today for the first time, and it's like funny we're talking about it. Growing up, like when I was a teenager, I would always be like, I really wish I was an animal so I didn't have to deal with like insecurities and like human stuff. But now that I watch that, I'm like, oh damn, like animals deal with some shit. Like, you know?
No, I'm the same way. There's like too many situations where I'm like people will be complaining about something. I'm like, well, the monkeys don't do that, and they're like, yeah, they're fucking animals. I'm like, no, we're all the same. And they're like, no, we're not.
So your podcast is called Durag and the Deertag. Are you the Deertag?
Yes, apparently, yeah.
I actually thought you were the Durag.
It's funny. A lot of people do think that. It's funny because like we didn't come up with the name. My old neighbor came up with it. Yeah. Because me and Naeem, my original co-host, and now it's me, Naeem, and Rob. Yeah. But yeah, it was just me and Naeem, and someone's like, call it Durag and the Deertag. But like Naeem doesn't wear do-rags. I've never shot a deer.
I was gonna ask, like, because you said you were into animals. Like, are you a hunter or not so much?
So I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so I would like shoot squirrels with BB guns and stuff.
It's like the start of a serial killer.
I know. I always felt really bad about it when I did it.
Okay, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Like I remember I hit a rabbit one time with my 4-wheeler. Yeah. And it like fucking broke my heart for like a week. Like we had to have a funeral for it. Yeah. And, like I buried him with a box of Trix. Because I thought Trix rabbit was cool. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but, yeah, that's funny because like I was thinking about this too. I love red meat. Like I eat a lot of meat, but if it really came down to it and I had to hunt, I think I would feel so guilty. Yeah. Which is something to think about, you know?
I did. So the only animal that I've ever killed and ate was a squirrel. And it was pretty good. We shot it with a BB gun and then just cooked it over a fire like Shrek.
How old were you for this?
Maybe 15, 16.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just me and my neighbor, and like we had a BB gun and a fire pit, and we're like,
that's crazy because like I feel like that's how you hear about people. They like accidentally eat some disease and like cause a world.
Yeah.
Disease,
no, we're lucky that didn't happen, I guess.
Yeah. I've heard about things like that in other countries, like in other countries where they're trying to save money, like poor countries, they'll like eat a rat or something like that, and then they'll end up getting some disease and dying.
Dude, there's this show I watch called Meat Eater. It's they have some of it's on Netflix, a lot of it's on like YouTube. Yeah. But he shows the whole process of like hunting these different animals in all these different regions, and then he shows the process of like cooking them and like skinning them. So it's cool to see he uses like every part of the animal. Yeah. But he went to Bolivia for an episode. Yeah. And they like out there, he was with like this native tribe, and he asked them, he's like, what's in season that we can hunt? And they're like, fucking anything. Like we're
that's
starving.
Here, yeah.
And they shot a monkey and ate it.
Oh.
And it was so like crazy watching them cook a monkey over an open fire. It was nuts.
Yeah, I think I would have, but then again, it's like, why do we prioritize certain animals over the other? It's like,
true.
Like I think I would have a lot more sympathy, like out of the animals I eat. If I had to hunt, I would feel far less guilty killing a chicken or a fish.
True. Like, yeah. No, you're right. I guess chicken and fish is like the easy ones.
Like chickens, they're kind of dumb. Like
I'd have a hard time killing a cow, but I guess it can happen.
And I love steak. Like I eat a lot of red meat. So I've been like thinking recently, like maybe I need to cut it out or like only do it once in a while, because I genuinely like think I would have issues killing a cow, like if I was face to face with one. But chickens, I think I could do pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you have to do it yourself, that's like a whole different game. But like, luckily, there's psychos out there who like just gun down cows in a field for us.
Yeah, dang.
There is videos. This is kind of fucked up. There's a video on YouTube of cows being hunted with a bolt gun.
Oh.
And this guy like walks up to this pasture of cows. And the cows are so dumb. They're like sniffing the gun, and he just puts it on their forehead, fucking drops it. It's like a painless death, I guess. Yeah. But like the other cows will run like 5 steps and then just stop and come back to him and start sniffing the gun again. Yeah. Because they're so dumb. I don't know. It's pretty funny. But luckily we have those people, so we don't have to.
We don't have to deal with like the tormentation of like suffering. But then there's like also the question. It's like, this is like a debate amongst like vegans and non-vegans. What would the life of the cow be like if it was just free range? Like, would they even exist? How would they take care of themselves?
Yeah, no, it'd be pretty bad. Like they would definitely die.
Yeah.
I think like animals would just fuck them up.
That's what I mean. Like if they were just out in the wilderness. I was like listening to something Neil deGrasse Tyson lately. I think that's who it was. He was like he was on a podcast and he was talking about the book he released, and he was talking about mouse traps, and he was like, there's this thing called ethical mouse traps, and the whole idea is that you don't kill the mice, you catch it and then release it back into nature. He's like, but if you really think about it, the more ethical thing to do would be to keep the mouse in your basement, because if you throw that mouse back into nature, it's definitely going to die unless it gets back into your house. But it's going to get destroyed by something else. So
yeah, this is the safest place.
Yeah, so it's like we do things like to be ethical, but then we don't really think about the big picture of those types of things. So, you know, maybe eating a cow, you're giving them a better life if you raise them proper, like if you give them a good quality life on a farm, not like a factory farm, you know.
I agree, dude. Eat more cows.
Yeah,
I'm a big steak guy.
No, I am too, and I feel so bad about it. All right. Oh, speaking of steak, this is a good question to ask next. So your Instagram handle, Little Cheesesteak, what the hell does that mean?
So I change it from time to time.
Okay. What is Little Cheesesteak?
Just like my fake rap name, I guess. If I was gonna be a rapper, that'd probably be it. Dude, I've had so many like crazy Instagram and like Twitter names over the years.
What are some of the other ones you've had?
Skydiver was it for a while,
like
and then
that.
like people would be like, "Oh, you skydive?" Like that was everyone's first question. So I was like, I gotta change that. Just like dumb alliteration things, like a first and last that start with the same letter. I can't think of any cool ones right now.
Did people ask you about Little Cheesesteak?
Yeah, people do all the time. It's funny. I did Helium. I hosted at Helium for Brad Williams, and it was cool as hell. And he's the man. But fucking, that's like the only thing I think he remembers about me. Because like I messaged him something, or I tagged him in something for like the 2022 wrap up. Like, oh, it was cool. Like, whatever. And he was in one of the pictures I posted. And he messaged me. He's like, "Thanks, Little Cheesesteak." I'm like, damn, that was it.
Yeah, you do have a rapper. You have like Eminem vibes. You have like white rapper vibes.
That was my whole goal in life.
Really?
Yeah, until I was like 20.
Do you rap?
No, I'm so bad. It's so embarrassing.
I have a piano. We can improvise right now. I had a comedian on my podcast who improvised, and his rap was terrible. No offense. But he was like, he said that before he was a comedian, he was a rapper, and so we were like, hey, let's go for it, and it was so bad.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it at all.
Yeah. All right, next question. Oh, all right. So you were also in the list that you gave me where you said you were lazy. The one thing you said was you had an interesting story recently where you were planning on getting 2 little kittens and they died.
Yes.
So you figured it wasn't meant to be. So explain to me more like in detail about that story. Or is that really it? They just died?
No, they just like, my friend got them when they were like brand new, I guess like a couple days old. He found them, and then his mom was taking care of them, and then she got rid of all the other ones except for the ones that I wanted. And then those ones both died. I said, keep the calico and the black one.
If they were only a few days old, that's why they died. Were they abandoned? Like, do you know? That's why they died. That's happened to me before. I found like a group of kittens outside my house, and the mom was like nowhere to be found. So I think she probably got hit by a car, just abandoned them there for whatever reason. It's kind of like the lions, like we were talking about. She probably went out to go hunting and never came back for some reason.
Damn.
So these little kittens were in the backyard, and I took them in, and I started like researching how to take care of them. Like, what do I do? And apparently it's really rare for kittens to live without their mother to a certain point because they need the nutrients from their mother's milk. So I was like, well, what do I do? They made cat formula. So I got cat formula and I was bottle feeding them. Overnight, 3 of them died. There's 4 kittens. 3 died and 1 survived. So I was like, this is going to be the one. Like, this is going to be the surviving cat. And I took care of him for a few days and I bottle fed him, and it was a lot of work. And then he was doing all right. And then all of a sudden, when he started walking, I noticed he like wobbled. Like, he didn't have a straight walk. So I took him to the vet, and they're like, yeah, without the mother's milk, his bones aren't going to develop.
Damn.
And he would have a better life. So like, he probably would have survived with me, which would have been an accomplishment, but he would have had maybe a horrible life. Like, he would have like had trouble walking, you know?
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted a cat was because I saw a mouse in my bathroom. Well, my girlfriend told me she saw a mouse in the bathroom, and I was like, no way, you're lying to me. Like, the bathroom's clean. It wasn't clean, but I was like, I've never seen a mouse. She's making things up. And then, so I just like went on with my life. And then like 2 weeks later, I saw the mouse. And I was like, well, this is a problem now. Now I believe you. I need the cat.
Yeah, no, cats are, that's what they're good for. They're hunters, you know? So if you have insects, like, I never had mice in my house. I think we might have had one in this house. But in the past, I never had mice. But I have 2 cats of my own. And we would have like a lot of insects, and they chase the insects. Like, they'll chase anything. And that always like gave me security. But
yeah, that's my that's like what I need, is someone to kill my spiders in life. That's what I look for in a girlfriend, someone who can kill spiders for me.
If me and my boyfriend were talking about this, would you date somebody like for these things? So one of the things was, so I'm gonna ask you now, would you date a girl who had an obsession with bugs? Like, she had a collection of spiders. Yeah, my boyfriend was like, I don't care.
Nah. Yeah, that's one that I'll draw the line on. I hate spiders so much.
Like, even if she kept it in a different room, like it wasn't in the bedroom, she had
weird.
like a bug room.
No.
You wouldn't be into that? What about a girl that was into reptiles? Like, had like snakes and
maybe like lizards.
Not snakes.
No.
Like, if she had a collection of snakes that she took care of.
Maybe. Puerto Ricans like snakes, and I like Puerto Ricans, so.
Is your girlfriend Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Luckily, she doesn't like snakes.
Would you date a girl that was a porn star?
Yes. Only because, like money? A famous one?
One that made good money.
Like, it'd be hard to date, like, a Lana Rhodes or, like one of, like, the top girls on Pornhub. Yeah. But, like, OnlyFans is so popular now that, like, yeah, it is what it is.
You'd be like, whatever, make your money as long as you help pay the bills.
Yeah. I might have, I don't know. I guess not. I was going to say I might have some, like, restrictions, but not on her. It'd be on me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you can do whatever you want, but, like, I might not be comfortable with certain things. Like, if you're getting your fucking ass blasted by a bunch of dudes on the internet, I might be like, all right, maybe this isn't for me.
What if she asked you to be in the video?
To participate? Then
that might be different.
Then maybe. But as long, I don't know.
That can ruin your stand-up career.
Yeah.
They might be like you might get accused, like let's say you blow up as a stand-up. They might be like, oh, that's just because he showed his dick on the internet. That's all. Like, and then you might get like.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. I see people headline nationally all over the road that have done much less than that. So there
is one comedian that she does the OnlyFans thing. She's Karen Feehan. Yeah. I've seen her. I've met her a few times, and she does that. I know she does. I don't know who else does, but
yeah, Karen's cool. She I don't know what she shows on there, but apparently her butthole's pretty cool, according to the
She
Reddit.
shows her butthole because she talks about it in her stand-up. That's how I found out about it. She has like a whole bit on how she shows her butthole on the internet. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have a problem with it.
I don't think I'm too jealous. I'm too like possessive. I don't know if it's the Italian genes or something like that, but if I had like a boyfriend who was a porn star, I couldn't.
You couldn't do it?
No, I would be way too jealous. Like, I'd be like, who did you fuck today? Like, I don't.
Are you like a super jealous, like he can't like Instagram pictures type?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say I don't feel jealousy in my bones a little bit when I see stuff like that, but I don't like put rules. Like,
right.
I'm not like, you can't like another girl's picture type of thing. Like, if it's a really attractive girl, I might like feel a little jealous, but I'm not gonna like put a rule on that.
Right.
No. I think I'm more jealous in the sense of like, who did you fuck in the past? Were they hotter than me? Like, I get jealous over that. It's like the male equivalent was like, was his dick bigger than me? I get jealous over that.
That's my biggest fear.
Really?
That question. No, not really, but like internally.
Yeah.
Because like whenever I guess it doesn't come up, but like whenever like past sex stuff comes up with my girlfriend, I kind of just like deflect and try and change the topic. Because like I don't want to find out about, like, even if it was 10 years ago, if you fucked a 13-inch dick, I'm gonna feel something in my bones is gonna feel different.
Insecure, right? Yeah. Like, I got really lucky. My boyfriend is the least insecure. Like, he's, and it's funny because
that means he has a 13-inch dick. That's why.
He doesn't have it. I mean, it's good. It's very good. It's not 13.
Hell yeah. Congrats, dude.
Yeah. it's funny because he's like one of the nerdiest looking guys I've ever dated. He's like he's got like red hair and glasses, but he doesn't have an ounce of jealousy in him. Like I have guys here when he's at work, like he doesn't care.
That's a good quality.
Yeah.
I guess I don't get jealous of like in the moment stuff. And like the older I get, the more like I just realize, I don't know. I'm kind of on like a don't ask, don't tell thing too.
I think that's good. Or it's just like you don't want to irritate anybody. Like just don't even bring it up. You know?
Yeah. Because I think unless we're like living together or married, then like as long as you're not like cheating in front of me, I don't think she is. But like, I don't know if she. I wouldn't be devastated by it if like I found out from her. You know what I mean? As long as it's not like me catching it in the act, then that's what it is.
So you kind of just like to play dumb with that stuff.
Yeah.
Just like whatever, live in the moment and don't worry about
I
that.
play so dumb. Yeah.
People who play dumb are dangerous. Like when they're manipulative, like I don't know if this is a female thing, but I've had like when someone does something that's obnoxious and then they go, oh, I didn't know. Like it's like you fucking knew. Like those types of people really irritate me.
Yeah, I guess with stuff like that, I try not to or don't. But with observations, I play dumb.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
act
good.
like I don't notice things.
What about confrontation? Like, are you the type of person, if you disagree with someone's opinion, are you going to be like right there? Or you just kind of let it go?
If I'm drinking, then absolutely. But most times I'll just be like, oh, that's dumb, and like ignore it. Yeah. But that's also something that like the older I get is like, I don't fucking care. Yeah. But like when I was like 21, I'd be like, yo, you said what, pussy? And like for no reason try and fight people.
I try to pick my battles now. Like if I feel like
100%.
Like I'll bring something up and argue with somebody if I think like there's a good purpose behind it. But if it's something that really doesn't mean anything to me, I'm just like, sure, yeah, like I'll play dumb and be like, whatever you say.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
No, and that's part of the cool thing about doing comedy is like internally you can make things funny when someone's making like a dumb point and you're just like gassing them up, being like, yeah, and then what about this, and like just keep adding on to it and then get them fired up about their dumb point. I enjoy that.
How is your podcast dynamic with your co-host? Do you guys like roast each other on the podcast, or how does that?
Yeah, it's funny because like when we first started, we like that was like something that I kind of like planned into it. I was like, all right, we're gonna like take a segment of the show and just roast battle each other every week, and then it kind of just like got old because like after like 13 episodes of like a 10-minute roast battle session, it got hard to get creative. But now we just like do it in the moment. It's cool because like the less we prepare, the better it's gotten.
I'm like I'm the opposite. I'm so overly prepared. Like I have my questions for you, and I was talking about this with my guest yesterday. I really struggle with crowd work. I'm not a good crowd work person because it's really intimidating to me to like do things in the moment like that, which I would imagine you probably don't have that issue. You're probably pretty good at that.
I got better at it when I stopped like trying to force it. But like people that like go up with like, I'm going to do crowd work, that always stinks because it's always like one of 3 questions. Like, who, like, where are you from? What brings you like that? Those basic things like generally lead to the same exact things.
Like, what do you do? Like they'll say, I know what you mean. Like
what do you do?
The comedians will be like, so what do you do? And then they'll have some clever joke about what they do. Yeah.
But like if someone heckles me, then like I do enjoy that because then I can be like, all right, who said that? Yeah. I got lucky the other day because like I went first on a show and the host was getting heckled, and then the lady like he did well though, and you could tell like the crowd was kind of against this lady. Yeah. And then she yelled something immediately into my set, and I was like, is this the lady everybody fucking hates? And they all like got on my side immediately. And then she was hot. I looked at her like through the light. I was like, oh, you're fucking unbelievably hot.
You said that to her?
Yeah. I was like, I'm with you. These people are dumb. And then so like just little stuff like that, I'll eat that shit up. Yeah. But yeah, There's times even where I try it, like where I'm like, oh, where are you guys from? And they're like, Philly. And I'm like, cool, we're in Philly. This sucks. Like,
one time I like accidentally did a good job with that because I did like the classic, like, where are you from type of thing. And I already had a prepared like comeback. Like I had a prepared like joke to go with where the person was from, depending on like not where they're from, what they did. And like I asked, I was like, so what do you do? And the girl was, she's like, I'm a psychologist. And there was nothing I had prepared for that. So I was like, okay, cool. And then I went to the next person.
What about you?
The audience started cracking up because they thought I was like purposely trying to like put her down.
Yeah.
And really it was just that I didn't have anything prepared for her. So I was just like, what do you say? I was like, okay, cool. And what do you do? Like, and it just like accidentally was funny, even though I wasn't really trying, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's like the shit that works is like
Yeah.
the shit that's accidentally funny. I've noticed that like the more I do it is like the people who are like just like awkwardly honest on stage are
Yeah.
sometimes the funniest people.
Yeah, I feel like that could be me because I'm a little bit socially awkward. So if I just like own into that, maybe I would have a better time with crowd work. You know?
And just like be awkwardly honest. I don't know how to say it, but yeah.
What about in your like everyday life? Are you like someone who's cracking jokes all the time? Or are you pretty laid back?
No, dude. I like just chill and play video games.
What games do you play?
2K, NBA 2K, and like Call of Duty. And I watch a lot of YouTube shit. I'm pretty boring. I smoke a lot. It depends who I'm with. Cause like there are times where like my comic friends will come over and then like I'm trying to talk about real shit and they're like making jokes about it. I'm like, fucking chill, dude. I'm telling you about the Tasmanian devil. Yeah. I just watched a documentary. But
that's always an issue I've had with comedians is like, especially as a female, because I feel like as a female, I'm a little more timid. I'm not like constantly trying to like be the star of the show or something. I always felt like when I was around a lot of comedian dudes, they're like constantly trying to like one up each other with the jokes. And I'm like, do we always have to be on? Like, can't we just, like,
can't we chill?
Can't we chill sometimes?
And like with comics, I guess it's different because then like sometimes they do say something funny and it like makes it so you're funny. Yeah. But like I hate the expectation of like being around non-comics and they're like, fucking do something funny.
Yeah.
Because I forget where I was at the other day and I was feeling that heavy and it was like making me feel weird. Do
they ever say like tell a joke?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Fuck, where was I? I think it was like at the parade or something, the Mummers Parade.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say who it was, but like I was with a couple people and they were like, I could tell that they were disappointed. Yeah. Because I wasn't just like
cracking jokes.
Yeah, just like crushing at the Mummers Parade. I'm like, what do you want from me, dude? I'm chilling.
Yeah, it's
I'm hungover.
Yeah, that kind of makes you. It's funny. Like it would. So I'm a musician also. I can never imagine like a bunch of friends hanging out with me and being like, "Can you sing a song right now?" Like I would be like, "No." Like, what am I, a monkey? Like, to do tricks for you? Like,
comedy's the only thing where that happens. Maybe that and like magic.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like imagine what other jobs. Like if someone was like a fireman, like would you be like, "Can you save the world?" Right now at the lunch, at the dinner table,
just
or
like light a napkin on fire and throw it at them.
Or like a psychologist, could you be like, can you diagnose me right now? I mean, probably they do.
I'm sure they get that a lot. Yeah.
But yeah, no, when I was single and I would go on dates, that would be something I would get from guys like, oh, tell me your best joke, and I'd be like, no.
Yeah, it sucks, especially like I guess last time I was on like Tinder, that it was in my Tinder bio like something about I do comedy or whatever, and then it was always that like the first thing would be like, what's your funniest pickup line? I'm like, fucking shut up. Do you want to go get chicken wings or no? Like,
what was did you meet your current girlfriend on Tinder?
No, I met her at a show actually. She her and her brother got kicked out of the show because they were being obnoxious in the front row. Yeah. And then it was her brother and her cousin, and I was on stage and then they got kicked out, like the guy after me. Or I think they might have got kicked out during my set. But I remember seeing them and I was like, oh, she's hot. I'm going to go outside and talk to her.
Was she heckling you?
No, her brother was.
Okay. I'm surprised that didn't like turn you off from going after her.
Yeah. Well, cause I noticed that like her brother was heckling and her cousin was, but like she was being chill. Yeah. She was like kind of laughing. And
I
was
talk
just,
to the brother like now?
It's funny because like, so that was my first interaction, and then my second interaction with him was also not good. So like and they happened over like a period of like 9-10 months, so like they were spread out. Yeah. So for a while I was like, I fucking hate this guy, and now he's cool as shit. Like the past couple times I've seen him. Yeah,
maybe some people like they drink too much at a show.
I think it's that
they don't get it. Like some people like. I've had people at shows like that they think it's like an interactive experience where there's like they're conversing with you. Like one time I was trying to tell a joke and the guy was like answering the question. I'm like,
I hate that.
Like
yeah.
I was doing a joke about like how I wanted to buy a knife and like how do you like it was kind of like how do you like when you want to buy a knife for self-defense, like how do you approach that? Like do you go to the salesman at Walmart and say like, hey, what do you have that could cut a bitch? Like it was like something like that. And then the guy was like giving me like his explanation. Oh, well, you could have done this. And I'm just like you're
Oh, that's insane. Dude, supportive heckles are the worst heckles. Yeah. Like this lady fucking I had a joke about like Ukraine when that was like relevant, and this lady was like front row, like, but like so happy with the joke. She was like, that's fucking funny, like standing. I was like, all right, chill, dude. Like
it's like you don't want to like tell her to fuck off, but at the same time it's like we get it.
Yeah.
You know?
And it was something like the joke wasn't political at all, but she like took it there.
Yeah.
She's like, and fucking Biden with the $40 billion. I was like, what?
Oh, she like
what are you saying?
She like you like got her political side and she like connected with you in that moment.
My joke was something about like being dumb and like not even knowing Ukraine was a real place. I thought it was like a religion or something. I forget, it was something stupid.
Yeah.
But like she was like, yeah, and fucking Biden with the money. I was like, what?
What
is happening?
How does that even connect?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. People always like, if you can make them laugh, they think that like you're best friends.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. Like the positive hecklers, they're the ones who are like, yeah, like, you know. So let's talk a little bit. I had some questions about the Philly comedy scene because I'm coming from the Jersey comedy scene. In your experience, is there a big difference between the styles of comedy, or is it really not that much different from Jersey to Philly?
I don't know much about the Jersey scene. Dude, Philly's like the best scene in the world, I think, though. Because like there's a whole spectrum of like funny shit in Philly.
Yeah.
There's like funny I don't know, I'm just thinking of like specifics, but like Betty Smithsonian is like not clean, but like she doesn't fucking say dirty, crazy. She does. Yeah. But I don't know. She's like an improv, crazy, wild lady, and she's hilarious. And then there's like people who are fucking, I don't know. I don't want to like put people on the spot, but it's definitely a wide range of like what's funny. Yeah. And everyone's cool. Like everyone's like supportive. I had an experience.
My first experience doing comedy in Philly was very bad, and it left a bad like feeling. Like I was like, wow, I have a lot to learn here. But then my second experience was good, so I think it was just a weird night.
Where was the first one?
You know, the last guy asked me this, and I can't remember what it's called. I have to literally look it up on my phone later. But so when I came to Philly, I was like, I'm gonna start with my best set so that the people know me as someone good, and then I'm gonna start doing new jokes, like whatever. So I literally took a word for word identical set that I had just done in North Jersey that was very successful there. Like it killed, it did very well. And I was like, I'm going to start in Philly with this set so the people know me. And I was like really like confident about it. My set got fucking crickets the entire time. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, I suck. Where am I? What is the Philly must be so different. But then in hindsight, I did another set like a couple weeks later, and it didn't kill, but it did well.
Yeah.
That one was at damn, I can't remember the names of these places. Grape Room.
Okay, Grape Room's awesome.
Yeah, the Grape Room one went very well. The other one was in South Philly. I can't remember the name of it, but now that I think about it, it was a comedy show followed by an open mic. So I think by the time I went up, no one cared or they were tired, you know. I mean, or it could have just been really bad, but
no, there's a lot of those in Philly too. Like a lot of the mics suck now, especially like once Raven shut down, Raven Lounge was awesome. Yeah. But like once that died, then like a lot of mics kind of just like fell off with it, or like people stopped coming out for some, I don't know why. Yeah. But yeah, Grape Room's awesome. That's where I started.
Really?
Yeah, that's a really fun room.
Yeah, no, I want to start finding more. I've only been living here for 2 months, and I've been living here like around the holiday season, so I actually really haven't done too much comedy here. Now that the New Year's started, I want to like really get on top of it. I know there's a couple places in South Jersey that people were telling me about, so like if I want to do a quick one down the road, I could. But besides Grape Room, I'm not sure where to go in Philly. So later on, you know, I'm not going to bore the audience with it, but later on, maybe you can like send me some.
I will point you in the right direction.
Yeah,
sure.
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah. You know? There's a good one in Jersey tomorrow night too. High Note.
Is that the one run by the handsome guy?
Yes, handsome idiots.
Literally, like I called him an idiot, like on my Instagram, and I'm like, that's literally like what he calls himself, the handsome idiot.
No, those guys are awesome.
I want to do that.
Shout out to John and Matt.
Yeah, I want to try to do that one, because he's been talking about it. I think he's trying to get more people there. So I'm gonna check that out. But yeah, I need to check out like more in the area because I really don't know what I'm doing around here. You know,
you'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right. So more questions. Oh. So this was the one thing on your list that wasn't lazy that you do, kickboxing.
Yeah.
So you said you do kickboxing. Is that like a big thing of yours? Like you do it every day or?
No, I wish, dude. If my schedule aligned more with theirs, I would, but they don't have like all day classes. Yeah. Because it's like they do everything at the gym I go to. Yeah. Like jujitsu, judo, all that.
Do you do all that too, or do you just do kickboxing?
If I did all that, I could train every day, but like I only go to the kickboxing classes. I don't know. I want to get into all the other stuff. But
so
it's
kickboxing
like
is like a group class, not a one-on-one type of thing?
Yeah, so it's a group class. Dude, I fell in love with it because like my roommate, he signed up for like a cardio kickboxing class. Yeah. And it was just like old ladies trying to lose weight. And I was like, dude, if I'm going to do it, like I want to fucking learn how to fight people. Yeah. And then so I went to Broad Street Kickboxing, and the first day, like after practice, they were like, if you want to spar, stick around. So like I thought I'd be a bitch if I didn't. Yeah. But then like now that I've been doing it for like a little over a year, I realize like nobody that's new sticks around after and just gets their ass kicked. Yeah. But like I actually liked it. It was cool. Like, and they weren't like fucking me up because they knew I was new. But like now I get my ass beat in there. But funny. I enjoy it.
That's funny. I'm glad you clarified that because when you said you did kickboxing, what came to mind was like what the class that I saw my mom do.
No.
Because like when I was little, she took me with her because she didn't have a babysitter, and I would sit in the corner and watch her do that. Like old lady, she would just like kick her feet up and like punch the bag. I didn't realize, I knew MMA, like all that, but like I didn't realize kickboxing was an actual sport.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So it's considered Muay Thai, but like we don't spar Muay Thai rules because like you can't, in Muay Thai you can elbow people and knee them. Yeah. And like we practice all that stuff, but like when we fight we don't do that because like we don't want to elbow somebody in the fucking head on a Sunday morning. Like.
So how long have you been doing this for?
14 months now.
Oh dang.
So a little over a year.
Do you feel confident, like if you had an altercation with somebody, do you feel confident that you could defend yourself at this point?
Dude, it's funny. I feel like almost less confident, and I'm so much better than when I started, but I feel almost less confident because like now I have an idea of where I'm at.
That makes sense. Like maybe before you learned how to defend yourself, you might have had like blind confidence, like I'm the fucking, like I'm the shit. And now that you have a knowledge of what actually goes into it, you're probably thinking like, oh, who knows what other people know.
Exactly. You know? Like I don't want to fight but like I do feel more confident in like my abilities, and like I think I'd be okay. I probably wouldn't, I don't know, God forbid, knock on wood, get knocked out somewhere, but like it could happen to anybody, obviously. But like, yeah, definitely before, like I had won like maybe 2 fights in high school, and I was like, fucking, because I did that, I am Brock Lesnar. Like, yeah, that's clearly not it. So it's cool to it's like the most humbling shit I ever did by far. I like Joe Rogan a lot. Like I don't know if you listen to Joe Rogan. I'm a Rogan guy. Yeah, I'm a Roganite or whatever. Rogan, Ho Rogan, you know. And he talks a lot about MMA on his thing. And I think I heard him saying once, I don't know if it was him or one of his guests. Oh, there's a cricket on the floor. I hope you're not scared of it. No, I don't hate crickets. Yeah, we get them in the basement. It was either him or one of his guests, but they said in MMA, like a lot of people come into it with that mindset of like, I'm going to fuck everybody up. And they train you to only use your skills when absolutely necessary. Like the idea isn't just to go around and fuck everything up. The idea is to like be calm and composed and only resort to these things if absolutely necessary. Yeah. We had this guy like messaged the gym's Instagram page one day, and he's like, yo, I want to come in there and like spar your best fighters, and like was just talking shit. And my coach was just like, all right, come on down. Like, fucking, you are more than welcome to fight. Like, and he put him up with, like, the 4 best guys we have. And this guy was getting fucked up. Yeah. Like, it was crazy to watch. Like, me and, I I remember at one point I was doing a round with like one of my friends, and we were like, bro, let's just go easy and watch this. Yeah. Because like this guy's getting his ass whooped right now, and it's cool to see. Yeah,
it's like cool to see someone. It's funny, like I'll never forget this. Years ago, I was when people's egos get involved in that type of stuff. I've never done MMA or anything like that, but I used to lift heavy weights when I was younger, and I'm starting to get back into it now. I had like a couple injuries that put me out of commission for a while, but now I'm like regaining strength. I remember one time I was doing the squat rack, and I had it set up, and there was a woman watching me do it. And like some people, they don't realize how dumb they look. Like you can see, like there was a lot of weight on the squat rack, and you can see this woman, like she looked tough, like she looked like a tough chick. You could see her getting like pissed and competitive. She was just like pacing around, like kind of clapping her hands. It was very weird, and she was like looking at me, and I was like, this woman's getting pissed that I could lift this much weight. And she kind of looked like the type of bitch that would like punch a bitch in the face in high school type of thing. And she was like ready to I left to take a little like water break. She went into this is so weird. She went into my squat rack and tried to squat, and she fell over. Like, so she was
just walked up on her, like collapsed.
I think she was able to, because on the bottom of the squat rack, it has like a thing that catches it.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like the weights fell on her. It's not like she had like a serious injury, but like the whole thing collapsed, and she like ran away embarrassed and left the gym. But it was just like so funny for me to see, because it was like kind of like that, except in a weightlifting form. It's like she came in so fucking tough, and she was like, I'm gonna show this bitch that I could lift these weights. It was so weird. Like she was a grown ass woman, and like she kind of learned her lesson, because she fell flat on her fucking ass. The weights just like fell.
Yeah.
You know?
No, nothing's better than a good ego check, especially in comedy. It's like the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like we at Raven Lounge, some guy came in one night, and he's like, yo, I need to go up. Like, it was the first time I'd ever seen this guy, and he had his own merch on, which I don't hate. I wear my like the podcast hoodies, but like it was just a t-shirt with his name on it. Yeah. And he's like, yo, my name's fucking whatever macaroni, or so he had like some ridiculous stage name, and he's like macaroni. He's like, dude, I need to go up in here like when it's packed, like you need to give me a good spot. I was like, I don't know you, this is a crazy introduction, but no. And then like all night he was just like harassing me and like the other hosts to get a good spot. And like, I didn't know it was his first time at the time, because he had his own merch on. But like he went up there and bombed so hard. I remember telling him, I was like, it's 5-minute sets. He's like, dude, I need at least like 10, 15.
I wonder if I'm not going to name names on here. I don't do that here. But like based on what you're saying, I feel like I probably know who this person is. Because there's one particular comic in Philly that has that attitude. And I'm kind of wondering if it's the same one. But we'll talk after. Yeah.
I don't remember the name, but if you say it, I probably would. But and long story short, he didn't even get to the light. He got out of there at like 2 minutes because he was bombing so hard.
That's terrible. Like, yeah, I mean, it's good, I guess. Yeah. But that's funny. He was wearing his own merch.
Yeah.
And he had comedy merch? Like, what was his merch? Just like a picture of himself?
No, it was literally just the name.
Okay.
Just his name on a shirt.
Do you guys have any merch for your podcast?
Yeah, we dude, I'm so happy about it. We just got hoodies out.
Is that one of them?
No, this is a Pink Dolphin hoodie. I actually just messaged the guy today to get my own, because like we have the website, but like I don't want to pay full price for it. Yeah. But no, it's cool, because like we originally had, my friend made us like 20 hoodies, and then we just sold them, like shipping them out to people or like giving them to people at shows. But that is annoying and it sucks. Yeah. But like now we have someone taking care of it, so it's cool.
Yeah, no, I'm envious of you. I want to get to that point where like we were just saying before the podcast starts, like I want an assistant, and like I eventually want my own merch, but I feel like I haven't earned it yet. I have to have, in my eyes, I need 1,000 listeners before I can justify buying merch. How many listeners do you have for your podcast?
We just got like around that number.
Yeah, so I feel like you've earned your merchandise. Like I have like 275 listeners. Like I don't.
Dude, that's good though. And like even with that, you can definitely sell some shit.
Yeah.
Like especially like I'm sure if you put a post out like who would buy a hoodie, and like if you have a cool design. Yeah. Cool designs are the best part about it. Just like find something funny that was like talked about on the podcast, and then like, cuz like we just put one out that's like a guy flying a seagull like a kite, and that one's like killing it right now.
Yeah. Do you listen to Tim Dillon?
Yeah, I love Tim Dillon.
I had ended up buying a fake business sweater. The only thing is, no offense to Tim Dillon, the sweater in the wash, the logo came off. But I love that sweater. Like I think I'm going to switch to a coffee mug instead because the sweater didn't hold out. But Fake Business is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great merch. Yeah. The Fake Business.
He just recently, I don't know if you still listen to him, but his assistant left.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him. His assistant, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of bummed out because his assistant had this great laugh.
Yeah, Ben was very funny.
Yeah, like it made the episode. And I guess I was reading about it or listening to Tim Dillon talk about it. I think that's why he left, because he felt like his only purpose was to laugh.
Yeah.
Like he was like, my purpose in life isn't just to be a laugh track. And I'm like, well, it kind of is. Like,
yeah.
you made the show so great.
You were really good
laugh.
at it. Yeah.
Because he did his own podcast now, and it wasn't. I listened to it. And I'm like, your purpose is to laugh. Like,
it's
go
not
back
the same.
and start laughing. I
saw he's doing one, and I didn't even give it a chance.
Yeah, I was like, I go back and start laughing. And I think Tim Dillon, he got a new laugh guy, which his laugh isn't as good, but it's gives the show a little something.
I gotta check. I haven't listened to his last few episodes.
His Christmas episode was so good. He was he was ranting about the new Christmas toys. I can't even explain it to you. You just have to see it. Shout out to the listeners. If you don't know who Tim Dillon is, one of the most creative comedians out there today. His podcast. Sure. I don't even listen to his stand-up, to be honest. I just listen to his podcast, and it's hilarious. It's the funniest,
Yeah, he's the best ranter.
Yeah, he just rants about just he just makes fun of society in a way that needs to be made fun of, But yeah, the Fake Business bit was probably one of my favorites. He's got a lot of good bits.
I'm a fan.
Who are some of your comedian influences?
Tim Dillon, honestly, he was big. I like Theo Von a lot.
I love Theo Von.
I love Theo. Patrice is big. I'm trying to think who else. Probably those three are the big three. And then Lewis and Big J and all those guys. Yeah. I saw just the model they were doing with the podcast, and I was like, that's...
What kind of podcast do they have? What's the model?
So when we started, Legion of Skanks was the big one that I was watching, and then me and Naeem from the start we were like, dude, we should do live episodes.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, so it was hard, but we were doing basement live shows for our friends.
Oh, that's
so that was cool. And then we just eventually got it in Raven, and it was cool. But then I don't know, we left there because some money issue, and then it was more than that. But yeah, we left there, and then eventually we went to another bar, and we were like, all right, the live one kind of sucks. Let's just do it in the studio.
Yeah, I've heard stuff about that before from other comics that they don't like the live one as much. It's it's funny, but it's not the same as a recorded one for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but
they were fun. I would do them once a month or once every 2 months if we had a really good spot to do it.
Yeah.
But it feels more performative.
I think that's what I heard them say. Tim Dillon actually was the one who said that, because he did a couple live ones, and he said it felt like a pressure to hold up, and you couldn't really be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, you start you overanalyze shit. You're like, I'm not getting any laughs right now. What's going on? Why is this happening? And then you're missing the actual conversation that's happening. So when you do podcasts like this, do you ever feel like I have to be performing, or do you kind of just chill into it? Yeah, I just kind of chill into it. Yeah. I feel I kind of to a degree feel a certain pressure, not in the same way as stand up, but I personally feel especially if I'm hosting it, I feel like I have to keep the conversation flowing. I get a certain anxiety about that sometimes, where it's I can't let this get boring, or I have to ask good questions. So sometimes I struggle with that. With your own show, that's 100% normal though. Anytime there's any dead air on our show, I'm like, fuck, we're bombing, what's happening? But I guess that's just normal. That's what it is. Do you interview guests, or is it just you two? No, so it's it's the three of us now, and then we have a guest on most of the time. Sometimes we'll just do the three of us, and those are fun. Yeah. I think if when there's a guest on in particular, you have to, because sometimes I do solo podcasts, but I don't like them as much anymore. They kind of get boring. But
they're easier for me because I could just keep talking for hours.
Right.
But when I have a guest on, I'm like, I don't know what this person's personality necessarily is if I'm not close friends with them. And thankfully, you're like a really funny guy and you're easy to talk to. But I've had some people that were like a little harder to talk to, and I feel a pressure of like, how do I get something out of them, you know?
Yeah. No, it sucks when you're forcing conversation because that's like, it's the same thing like we were saying with crowd work.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is like, I'm struggling to get anything out of this.
Yeah. Luckily, most of my guests have been pretty good. I'm not going to name names, but there was one guest in particular that he was such a funny guy on stage. Like, he was so dynamic on stage, and I was like, oh, this is going to be an easy one. And then in person, he was just like so reserved, and I was like, what the hell's up with this guy?
Yeah.
Like, he's like super reserved in person.
It's those damn handsome idiots.
No, it wasn't. No, he was actually pretty good. He was fun to talk. He even critiqued himself. He was like, I just keep talking and I don't listen. And I'm like, no, it works for me. I have to do less work now, you know. But
no, I love those guys. I'm happy their podcast is doing well.
He was the one who was raving about your podcast. He was like, Dru Montana has the best podcast. So
what a sweet guy.
That's why I'm like, I have to check it out. I haven't checked it out yet because I just like got so busy with the holidays, but I'm going to start listening to it.
Nice.
All right, let me see. I have a couple more questions for you. We're actually almost reaching time because I usually stop like 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So I only have one more question, I think. I do. This one's intense. I pretty much ask it to everybody. It's a weird transition, but I like to ask this type of stuff. This is an evolving question, but currently in your life right now, what's your meaning of life?
Oh,
it's a little much. Yeah.
Oh man.
And and I feel like there's no answer to this question. I feel like it's gonna change constantly, but like right now, where you're at.
Yeah. No, I feel like I'm like settling into it. Like it's kind of just like just be happy and like do the thing and like get by until the thing makes me prosper.
Yeah.
I'm on like that mindset because like everything's like slowly getting better or like growing.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a real job since like September. Okay. And that scared me at first because I was like, I didn't like quit with like the idea of like I'm gonna go full time on comedy. Like I got fired and then didn't find a job for a couple weeks. And then it was my second time getting fired in like 3 months. And I'd never been fired before that. But I think like my bosses at those two jobs could tell like I don't care about these things anymore because like I had other shit coming up that I was more excited for.
I think that's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
I think it's like the, you know, not to get, but the universe. I think the universe is trying to say go like full time, like go full time on comedy.
Yeah, and it's weird because like some people are like, yo, that's the move, and then there's other comics who are like, oh, you don't want to get stuck doing that. And I'm like, no, I do. This is what I want to get stuck doing. This is the goal. If I get stuck here, that rules. I don't want to end up at Amazon in 5 years.
It's funny. I'm in a similar position myself because I have my own business teaching piano lessons, and I want to like go full into like not 100% piano lessons. I kind of want to split it up between the piano lessons and performing, whether that's performing comedy or music. I have a lot of different avenues I could take. Like, and I've always been like insecure about the idea of just going all on my own, and I've always kept like part-time jobs here and there, and I was doing DoorDash also, which was like
doing that for a little bit,
which in hindsight is so dumb because you're not it's like an instant solution, but in the big picture, like you're barely getting paid anything, you're putting miles on your car, it's not an investment in your future in any way.
Yeah.
So when I moved here in Mount Laurel, I was like, I need money to support my dreams. I'm just going to DoorDash part-time to get the money. I couldn't make the money here.
Yeah.
Where I lived in Central Jersey, you would get orders constantly. Here, like I would have to wait in my car for like an hour to get an order. I'm like, well, this isn't working. And then I got a part-time job in Philly, and then I kept getting parking tickets, and I'm like, well, this isn't working. And I'm like, why don't I invest in myself and see if that works? Because I've never had the confidence. I've had the confidence to do it like halfway, but never just go in.
Yeah, it's definitely the move, and like it is it's cliche, but it's like you got to spend it to make it. And like even though I got fired and they gave me like a severance check, and I had like no money other than that severance check, but I was like, I'm just gonna like put this into the podcast. And then we like built a studio in my house, and then our producer quit, but then we got in a better studio, so like it all worked out at a good time. Yeah, I'm like happy I got fired now. I was so mad driving home the day I got fired.
And it was Amazon you were working
No.
for?
I'm saying like I just don't want to end up working for something like
Something
that in
like
the future.
that,
I kind of deserved to get fired the first time.
Were they angry with you, or were they more just like, you need to leave? Like
No, so the first one I lied on my resume and they dude, I have like 5 different fake resumes that like I've done everything according to my resumes. Like I have experience in every job. But I really don't, obviously. But so I was an insurance broker for a little bit, and they were like you can make like $80,000 salary. I was like, this is beautiful, and they fired me after 3 weeks because they were like, you clearly don't know anything. And then,
that's some good fake business.
it was, dude. I lied my way through the interview, and
Dude, that's awesome.
And then so I was unemployed for like 2 months, and then I got another job. But it was just like data entry. It was very easy.
Yeah.
But when they hired me, it was like a remote job.
Yeah.
But then they were like, well, your first 100 days have to be in office.
Yeah.
And then it was too far.
Yeah.
And then after like 3 weeks of there, I was like, can I just do this from home?
Yeah.
And then they said no. And then I was kind of like, well, can you fire me then? And then they did. I was like, I don't want to quit in case I get unemployment.
Yeah.
Which I still haven't got yet, which I'm proud of.
So if someone fires you, you're then eligible to claim unemployment? Is that what that is?
That's what I've heard. I think if you quit, you can't.
You can't. So you're like, fire me.
Yeah. I was like, let me do something wrong.
That was a good point. That was a good move on your part. Like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then they gave me a severance check too, which I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, I think you're on the right track. I don't listen to the people who say don't, because you always have to look at the person. Like, whenever I get mixed advice from people, I try to follow the advice from the people who I want to be like.
Yeah.
Like, piano, for example. I always played by ear growing up, but it wasn't until I was like in my 20s that I wanted to take it really seriously.
Did you teach yourself how to play?
Yes and no. I took lessons briefly when I was like 5 or 6, but it was like very basic. Then all throughout the years after, I taught myself, and I played mostly by ear. And then I was in college, and I was like, I really want to learn how to do this correctly. And a lot of people in my life were like, you're too old to do this. Like, don't do this. But then I had professors who were like traveling pianists, like who did like concert halls, and they'd be like, if you really love this, you should do it. So it's like, whose advice do you want to follow? The guy who works at Subway, or the classical pianist? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I always try to like take the advice from those people. So amongst your comedian friends, like, take the advice from the people who are actually killing it, you know?
Yeah, you're right, because everyone that said that to me is like so much less funny than me.
Or like don't have the balls to do it themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I don't like put myself on like this crazy pedestal, but like I know who I'm better than, and like the people who are all like, dude, you need a fucking job, and I was like, I think I do a little bit better than you at this. But then all the people that I'm trying, like you said, that I'm trying to be like, they're all fucking killing it and don't work and play video games and do podcasts for a living. Yeah. And that's the move.
I think the hard thing is like trying to figure out how to get the money, because and I think it's possible. I think you should try to figure it out, because I was just talking about this with another guest also. It sucks that beginner comedians don't get paid well.
No,
like, what the fuck is that? Like, because beginner musicians, like, they don't get paid great, but they get like $100 a gig. That's better than nothing.
Yeah, that's really good.
You know,
actually.
It's good, but in the music world, it's shit. Like, so a good musician, if they do a gig, they should get at least $300, because they're performing for 3 hours and they're like carrying around all this luggage. So it's like a pretty hardcore job. But like comedians, like a new comic, I've gotten paid like $20 before, and it's like no one could survive off of that.
Yeah.
You know?
And we're also like desperate for stage time that isn't an open mic, that will be like, what, fucking $10 in Pittsburgh? I'll be there.
I want to, like, one of my like goals or dreams this year is to put together a collaborative show where it's like you start with comedians, like maybe 4 comedians, and then you finish with an hour of music. And the idea is that if I pitch the idea of music, I might actually get a bar who could pay me a decent amount of money, and then I can actually pay the comedians. Yeah. Because I don't know if bars pay comedians. I'm not sure if they do, you know, if they're like... not good. But musicians, they have a reputation of like they want a little something. So like I might be able to get a bar to pay me $400, and then I could at least give the comedians like $50 or something, and like split the rest with the musicians. I kind of want to put something together like that. Yeah,
there's a lot of cool places that I think would be into that.
Might even Grape Room, because I know they're like a music/comedy place.
Grape would be cool. Talk to a Frankie Bradley's.
Yeah, I don't know if they pay there, like if they pay their musicians there.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so especially original acts, a lot of original musicians, cover bands get paid well. Originals don't usually get paid. That's the difference, so it kind of sucks.
Start a Jimmy Buffett cover band. That's the move. Comedy's done.
No, yeah, it's that would, believe it or not, like that would pay more than like awesome original music. Like really good original music won't pay shit, but like a Jimmy Buffett cover band would be touring around the world if they were playing it well. It'd be like, imagine if like a comedian was like, I just do covers of Bill Burr, like you know. It's just
that's what comedy's missing. Cover acts.
But I regardless, I still think you should follow your path and figure out how to get the money doing what you love and not door dashing or being an Amazon person. So
I'm trying.
Anyways, we're gonna end the podcast there on a light note. Before we leave, I'm gonna leave his information below in the section, whatever they call that section there. I'll leave like a thing to his Instagram, so if you guys want to find his podcast or see where he's doing stand-up, don't forget to hit like, subscribe if you're new and you're a new listener. I put out podcasts pretty much every week, and that's it. Pranzata Podcast. Have a good day, guys. Bye.